I'm Van.
I'm Sori.
That's Booty.
And Vita, and Chip, and Culpy.
And my new Middle America hoodie. What?
How is it? Give your breakdown.
I like it. It's very comfortable on the inside. I don't like stuff that's itchy on the inside.
No, I don't like itchy either.
So it's very fluffy. Not as thick as I thought it would be. But it's weird also to have your face on your thingamajig, but I believe in the message. We are the media.
Oh yeah, it does say.
It's important.
We are the media, as written.
Yeah, it's you know, that's an important phrase for what we're trying to accomplish with that other channel. So
Yep.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Would you say it's true to size?
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Is this how, when you buy an extra large sweatshirt, is this how it usually fits?
Yeah.
Or
comfy.
do you usually buy large?
Large, extra. I just like it to be comfy in space, and I don't have to worry about it shrinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if it shrinks a little bit, it's still gonna be good.
I'm gonna be okay. So.
And the print on the front looks like, it doesn't look like it's gonna like come off in the wash.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I just like to design stuff that I would wear myself. So I would definitely wear a Sori Secret shirt. I would definitely wear this right here. So anyway, there's the trees grow back thing and the. Anyway, so there's that, and there's also the actual channel Middle America with Vin and Sori. You can check that out.
You can also check out my channel, My Sori Life.
Yeah.
And we fried plantain at 2 a.m. But I've been instructed that I did it wrong by multiple sources.
Tasted good to me.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if I took some of these tips that people are giving. I want to try it again with the tips.
I'm going to Chipotle after, so.
Oh my gosh.
I'll pick up some more for you.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so this is a Patreon pick. Patreon better be nice to us.
Yeah.
Sam Harris is out. I think Jordan Peterson is leaving. Woo!
Yeah.
This is definitely like the perennial example of a Patreon pick, because if it wasn't for freaking Patreon,
never,
this would never happen.
Never happen.
We're 3 days late. There you go, Matthew Winter. So I guess Peter, my arch nemesis. Peter's like one of my best friends in the channel. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever said anything that he's ever agreed with. Like, even his first introductory email to me, it was this big, long, "You're an idiot, Vin."
Really?
Yeah.
He likes me, I think.
Oh, yeah, of course. Everybody likes you.
That's not true. It's totally not true.
Yeah. But here we are.
I guess he failed several times to get this band done, so Winter took it upon himself to get this pushed through. So. It's progressive power metal, and it's from the Alliance Sin and Glory. So remember, if you're on Patreon, all your dollars are crew points. So, not a crew. I guess a crew makes it sound like they've been building up. So anyway, you can use those points to get your song bumped to the top of the list. So. All
right, let's listen to this song.
Let's go.
Symphony X, The Divine Wings of Tragedy.
Go.
On the edge of paradise, tears of woe fall cold as ice. Hear my cry, renounce have you thy name, eternal is my pain. can see a new world rising, like a prisoner unbound. I feel the power and the majesty again. Looking up to the heavens, I can see what I've left behind beneath the stars, moon, and warm sun. And all I know is my paradise has
My lord. I felt every 20 minutes of that song. You know how you listen to a Neo song and it's like 11 minutes, but it's over in like 3 minutes? I definitely felt like this song was about 12 minutes too long. I felt like they could have accomplished the epicness of what they were trying to accomplish
In less time.
in less time. And again, it's completely subjective, because there's sometimes I'll listen to I'll listen to a Neo song 3 or 4 times, which equals about 24, 25 minutes.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily the length so much as it is this. There were some parts where it's like a lot of the reason I do not like prog metal was present in this song. Just a lot of like, look at me, I can experiment and da 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 da.
Yeah, the song went a lot of different places.
It's like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, some of the different
like,
places that when I liked, but then some of it I was like, what are we doing here?
It's like this is like the epitome of why I do not like prog metal. Which when we were talking to Zen from Neo, I told him, I was like, dude, I don't like when they're in a prog band. I was like, I don't like prog. He's like, I don't like it either.
Right.
So there are just some parts of it that were just like, ugh. Then there are other parts of it I was like, I felt like, oh, that's Metallica, or I've got Queen on the brain because we've been listening to Queen. Oh, that sounds like Queen.
Yeah.
Like, especially the beginning, because when they were harmonizing and it sounded like, I forgot the name of the song, but there was one Queen song we did when they were all harmonizing like at the very, very beginning, and I was like, oh, that sounds like Queen. Mm-hmm. So there were some things I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And then there are other things I'm like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. I'm like, here we go, more prog stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there was like the da 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 da, which sounds like a Metallica song that I'm not certain. I forgot that one too. Yeah. Oh, I think it's something about the guy's mom being a witch or something like that. Forgot the name of the song, but he's like, my mother was a witch.
I didn't hear that one, did I?
Well, we heard the original one.
Ears are weird. I feel like they're gonna pop or something.
I forgot the name of the song. Am I Evil?
I didn't hear that, did I?
Yeah, well, we heard the original Am I Evil, because I guess the other one was a cover.
Oh.
So that was cool. I like the concept. I think I pretty much... the concept is very interesting. I can't wait to hear what you think about the lyrics, because there's some interesting stuff here lyrically that I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. The lyrics, I really like the lyrics. I like where they're going. I just felt like they could have pulled that off in about 8 to 11 minutes, not in 21.
There was some parts of it. You remember that ride at like Funtown or whatever, like a theme that you sit in and it kind of like mixes you around. You're like twisting like this and around. That that astrosphere.
Yeah.
It sounded like what would be going on inside of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's no doubt that these guys are brilliant musicians. That's obvious, and they wanted us to know how good they were musically.
Yeah.
There's some Dream Theater sounding stuff in there too.
And I don't know if
I just don't like
if I was
prog metal.
doing something, like maybe then it wouldn't be so long, but it felt so long because we were just like sitting here the whole time.
I just don't like prog metal.
I didn't
I'm
like
not a
when
fan
everything
of
kept
prog metal.
changing either. Do I usually like prog?
Yeah, usually like prog.
Yeah, I didn't like this one though, really.
Ugh.
But I don't know if it's because, like I said, the length of it was just... You know how I am.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to sit still for long spans of time. And so 20 minutes is a long time for me to just sit for one song.
Yeah, I feel like if Iron Maiden made a 20-minute song that we'd like it though.
Yeah, because there have been some songs that have been longer,
There have been some pretty long songs.
and it didn't feel like it was long.
But it just felt like this was like, we're gonna throw every instrument we can and we're gonna show how... There was one section where there was dueling guitars that I really liked, but I cannot do prog metal. I can't express to you guys enough how much I thought to myself, if Matthew Winter was here,
Yeah.
I'd give him a free jiu-jitsu lesson. Let me say it that way. Making us do this song.
Oh, Peter's behind it too.
Figures.
Yeah.
Figures. But
Yeah.
there's no doubt
But
that
I
these
don't know
guys
what
are...
what are we singing about? What were the lyrics?
Well, it amazes... Were you looking at the lyrics? How could you not
I
know?
didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, this song seems to... Look at that, we're at 84,666 subs.
666 right in the middle of this. It's a sign.
I'm serious, look. 84,666, I don't know if they can see it.
Nope. They can't.
So this seems to be some sort of like avenging angel who has the ability to bring about the apocalypse.
Okay.
I will devise from perfect skies a dark and vengeful day, faith and mercy gone astray. With strength of infinite measure, the mighty sword divides order from chaos in the kingdom below, and from the mansions of glory, the empty soul cries out one final plea, the end has begun. Our worlds collide, now in disguise you'll feel the wrath divine, tears of woe fall from the sky, the prophet cries, vast battalions rage on in the sky. See what I'm saying? The bringer of war, eve of destruction. And then he said something about the moon.
Standing on the edge of paradise. I sacrificed my truth and loyalty. I didn't understand this.
And the character, it says the wings of tragedy, so it looks like... And look,
Where?
a beam... Well, the name of the song is The Wings
Oh,
of Tragedy. A beam of light from a red velvet moon.
Symphony X.
A beam of light from a red velvet moon. A red moon. The moon shall turn to blood.
Yep.
There's like a lot of Matthew 24
Like
imagery
some
here.
of the stuff up there when you were reading it out loud, I was like, wait, that sounds like when it was talking about in the sky, the battalions in the sky.
Battalions
Yeah.
in the sky, right? Vast battalions rage on in the sky. And I'm sure that most people don't realize that during the Jewish war, and that's what I looked up. During the Jewish war, which was around 66 AD to 70 AD, it was Vespasian, Titus Vespasian. Vespasian went, and then there was problems with Nero. Nero died, so then Vespasian went to take the throne, and then his son Titus went and finished the job to destroy Jerusalem. Jesus had prophesied that Jerusalem was going to be destroyed within a generation.
Right.
And that there was going to be all these signs in the sky or whatever. Well, one of the signs in the sky was that the people looked up and they saw soldiers in armor running around in the clouds. And so he talks about vast battalions rage on in the sky. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that Josephus thing?
When you read it to me, I didn't hear it when it was in the song.
Yeah.
But when you read it, yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. So
When you went over all that stuff, that was super interesting.
Oh yeah.
All the stuff that was like that was said, and like you like view it one way because of how you're raised, and then you were like showing to me from like this other angle. I was like, what? It was really cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read it because it's very interesting stuff. But you know, it sounds fantastical, but
It really does.
But Tacitus talked about it too. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
And Tacitus was not a religious historian.
No.
Right. Where Josephus was a Jewish historian.
That before sunsetting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor were seen running about among the clouds. So, like, right before the destruction of Jerusalem, he saw that. So Josephus was a Jew, and he was talking about it. And it's interesting because when he talks about it, he doesn't talk about it as if, like, he's a true believer in it. He's just saying, you know,
This is what they're saying happened.
this is what they're saying happened. So it's on Strange History. And Strange History is really interesting because Strange History is kind of like a skeptical.
Yeah.
So they're trying to come up with the most naturalistic explanation possible, and they don't do a very, very good job at it. So Josephus says, on the 20th day of the month of Artemisius, a certain prodigious and incredible phenomenon appeared. I suppose the account of it would seem to be a fable, were it not related by those who saw it, and were not the events that followed it of so considerable a nature as to deserve such signals. So Josephus is saying, I don't believe this stuff. Like, It sounds like a fable, but when you consider the disaster that happened after and the fact that all these people are saying that they saw the same thing, I'm going to report it.
Right.
He says, before sunsetting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor were seen running about among the clouds and the surrounding cities. Mm-hmm. And then Tacitus, who is he's a Greek historian. He's a Greek. He's a pagan. He's not Jewish at all. Prodigies had occurred, which this nation, prone to superstition but hating all religious rites, did not deem it lawful to expiate by offering and sacrifice. There had been seen hosts joining battle in the skies, the fiery gleam of arms, and the temple illuminated by a sudden radiance from the clouds. So, like, Tacitus...
What did you call it? Strange history or bizarre history? What did they say? How did they...
Strangehistory.net.
You said they didn't do a very good job. What did they say?
So the skeptic is called a Fata Morgana. Fata Morgana is basically like you thought you saw something in the cloud, but you really didn't.
Okay.
And then he says, so Beachcombing tends to agree and would favor, as suggested above, a Fata Morgana, though he does so in desperation given the absence of other easy suggestions. So he's basically saying, because he can't, there's no way in his worldview.
Then I'm gonna have to say
it's just a Fata Morgana, but he doesn't really seem to believe it, that it's a Fata Morgana. If Fata Morgana, then we should have them today in a similar spectacular manner. And we don't. Did global warming stop them? There are mirage websites whose photos I have examined, and they're not that confusing or impressive. Can people see objects from an aurora?
That's what it is? I thought you were saying it was when somebody sees something that doesn't actually exist.
It's seeing
like
something in the clouds. It's like
we all know that when you're driving on hot tar, if you look out in the distance on straight ground, it's going to look watery.
Right, but they don't see actual soldiers in armor.
Right.
So he's saying... he's like, how come...
That is a really terrible explanation.
He's like, how come there's no other recorded Fata Morgana, like, to this degree?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How many people in the past said a cloud looked like something rather than a mistake or a cloud or for that something? Likely very few today. So, like, he's basically saying, look, we can't believe that there's actually... stuff happening up in the clouds like that, but everything that we know about the ancient world and the Jewish war, specifically the destruction of Jerusalem between 66 and 70, comes from Josephus and Tacitus. So if you want to be a complete naturalist, go for it.
Yeah, but...
Go for it. But, so anyway, this sounds like real poetic stuff, but when I was listening, it talks about the day of wrath, banish all kings from the face of the land, armies fall from the edge of the sky, the prince of truth, now the bringer of war. Which, okay, so there's a whole way to look at the book of Revelation and the, and all that stuff to say that was describing the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. It's not talking about like the entire far future.
Yeah.
It's talking about all the events that happened. And from a biblical perspective, Jesus is leading the war.
Right.
Right? Like
And this person's called the Prince of Truth.
So it says the Prince of Truth, now the bringer of war.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these days I'll probably sit down in a fireside or whatever, an invite-only fireside, and do a breakdown of the book of Revelation. And it's very, very interesting. I actually read an article where the guy said, look, when those people saw those angels in the sky, they were seeing Jesus coming to go and destroy the city.
Right.
Because he said he was going to.
Right.
And he told them, he said, you will
This
see the Son of
generation.
Man coming in power. He told them that
Yep.
would happen in that generation.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
this is about but it looks like an angel because he talks about his wings. I
Yeah,
feel
but-
my wings slowly fading, right?
Jesus is called the angel of the Lord.
Right.
But so you don't think? What do you think? You think that they just took some biblical stuff because it had like a cool
Well, I
sound
think,
to it
yeah,
and added it in with this?
I think it's taking the biblical apocalypse and just using it as an idea
Yeah.
about like, you know, an angel coming to destroy the world and all the rest of it. Of course, in the apocalypse, the angel doesn't destroy the world; Jesus does. But you know. And then at the end, there's like a new beginning, you know, blue sky, a new world, everything's peaceful, that type of thing. You still have this, you know, all that jazz afterwards.
Yeah.
Which is basically the idea of the book of Revelation, is
Right.
that after all this, and we're going to have, you know, peace and all this jazz.
Right.
Which also Nietzsche basically said, but Nietzsche kind of had a different idea. Nietzsche was, we're going to find a way to figure out how to live without God and become the overman. We're going to overcome all this stuff. But there's going to be a lot of death and destruction to get there.
Yes.
But then we're going to have like this utopian existence because we'll have figured out how to live without God. You're wrong, Nietzsche. Anyway, that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, like you could easily turn this into a preterist. This could be like the
I know,
preterist
yeah.
metal soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was probably the most interesting thing I've ever looked at. Like all that historical stuff about what was going on in those 3.5 years. Because that was some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. It
that
was
happening.
It was
And then
wild.
It tests people when they're like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like, okay, well, these guys saw it. You believe
And
it?
they didn't believe it. Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty crazy. What do you give the song? It's a strong, solid 7 for me.
Yeah, I was going between a 6 and a 7.
It's a 7.
A 7, I guess.
Lyrics are very, very interesting, though. Lyrics are extremely interesting. And like 4 people probably understood what we were actually talking about. But I'll be thinking about that for the next couple weeks. Yeah. What did I give it? A 7?
7.
All right. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.